I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
I really feel that we have overly narrowed Dr. King's legacy and his vision and his message. I mean, it's great that we have a Dr. King holiday and we celebrate every year. It becomes a day of service. But we kind of freeze frame Dr. King in the I Have a Dream speech and often forget about the Dr. King that was leading a march supporting sanitation workers in Memphis before he was assassinated, and that was organizing a poor people's campaign to try to lift up the crisis of poverty, and a Dr. King that spoke out against the Vietnam War. And so I feel like there's this rich legacy of prophetic activism that Dr. King represents, and a lot of people appeal to Dr. King, both on the left and the right. But we really need to re-examine his full message. And it doesn't mean you have to agree with everything that he said and did, but really recognize who he was as an overall leader and as a prophet. And I love this idea and this image of a creatively maladjusted, non-conforming minority that is trying to affect change. And one of the things I think we can learn from not just the civil rights movement, but from many other movements, is that ultimately it is a committed minority that creates the change. I think we have this misreading of history to believe that everyone was involved in the civil rights movement, when in reality it was a pretty small minority. It was national in scope, but if it wasn't for the sacrifices of that minority, the movement wouldn't have happened. There was nothing inevitable about the walls of Jim Crow segregation come tumbling down. It was because of the sacrifice and commitment of people that ultimately helped spread the movement and convince people about the moral imperative for advancing civil rights that made the difference.